All right, I think we're live here. Let me get Facebook up and going next so that we can go live on both, and that will be an absolute win. All right, uh, Facebook's loading up too. I'm going to stream on both of these at the same time, and then I will get over to everyone's questions. It's going to hopefully be a nice, long, productive live. I want to get plenty of cardio done, and yeah, so let's see how all this goes. All right, there we go. Looks like we got our first viewer in. All right, guys. Hey, everybody. It's Jason Blaha here. I'm streaming on both YouTube and Facebook, so I'm going to tab between the two. Got my coffee. Going to get my second hour of cardio in. It was a really good workout today. I have not recorded the vlog yet, but did lots of bicep work. I hit a few poses though. I may or may not put some of them up just to see where I'm at. I can definitely tell as I'm starting to get leaner. My triceps really aren't the weak link. It really is just my biceps. But I'm going to hammer down on both because really bigger triceps will always make you look better when you're leaner. Kennel says, tuned in after a while. Looking good, Jason. Thank you, Kennel. Matt says, what's up, coach? Push day done and dusted. Love it. Fantastic, Matt. Glad to hear it. So what'd you train today, Matt? That's one of my work warriors on here. So he's a pretty much a paying channel member. So yeah, let's hear about your workout, Matt. You get that type of privilege. Let's hear what you did. I want to know what you did today in the gym. And then we'll see what we get for maybe the Facebook over here. Nobody's commenting on Facebook yet. So we'll just stick on the YouTube. I'll tab over to Facebook every now and then to see what's going on. But yeah, get those likes up, by the way, guys, both platforms, both YouTube and Facebook. Hopefully we get a nice, good live. Hopefully my hip doesn't hurt. It started hurting on the one yesterday, but I had already walked 3 hours. So then my right hip started acting up. I was a little worried. It was a little crampy last night. So I put a massager on it, but it didn't bother me at all during squats today. So I did squats and deadlifts this morning to start my full body off. But I went hard on curls and triceps. I think that's going to be the name of the game as I work on the cutting. I'm going to de-emphasize squats. If I only get even 3 sets of squats a week, that's okay. I'm going to have some days to try to get more. I just need to maintain my legs. But I'm going to do tons of arm work while we continue to cut. It can't hurt. Matthias says, hello, coach. What's up, Matthias? I need to shave here this afternoon. Matt says, the bench, incline dumbbells, laterals, push down 3 sets of each. That's a good push workout. You know what? You're going to get coach's stamp of approval. If you're doing like a push-pull legs type day, so flat bench, incline dumbbells, a lateral, and a push down. That's all around solid. Matthias says, looking lean. Appreciate it, Matthias. Yeah, you'll get coach's stamp of approval on that one for a push day. So do you find that you like dumbbells better than the barbell as a secondary lift? I have clients who prefer the dumbbells too. Some of them really like that barbell incline. Some of them like the dumbbells. I like the strength. Okay, I'm going to be honest. When I do incline, I like the strength carryover on the barbell, but I do get a deeper stretch. It does feel better when I use the dumbbells personally. Nice talk, because I focus triceps. Dude, I'm hitting triceps hard. So even today, it's full body. I'm doing full body 3 times a week right now. So I did 3 sets of bench, but then I did 3 sets of full range of motion dips. And then I did 3 sets of skull crushers. And I added weight on the skull crushers this time. Matt says, I love the stretch in the dumbbell. Also do the neutral grip. A lot of guys, it's easier on their shoulders too. That's a big deal. So if I have some clients and lifters who've had some shoulder issues and they don't always like the barbell incline, but those dumbbells, right? They're like, it's so always comfortable for their shoulders, but being able to get that neutral grip in a little bit, right? Coach, how are you? I'm doing good, Kate, man. Actually, I went and checked the calories. I thought I was up a lot. I'm only up 1 pound, in spite of all the ridiculous amount of sodium in water, because my weight was up a lot last night. But I'm actually only at 212, so I'm good with that. Like I was saying in the other one, because I've been sweating so much and I don't want to get cramps during my training, I'm loading sodium, potassium, and water like crazy on this cut. But my waist was smaller. My belt was looser, my lifting belt. So my waistline has definitely gotten smaller in the last week. even though the scale did come back up 1 pound. So I have a feeling if I just keep the electrolytes loading, it's going to end up just whooshing down anyways. We just maintain the deficit. All the fasted cardio, staying in a deficit, just burn through the body fat. So I'm going to try to actually stay as hydrated as possible. I do not want to be dry, right? So farmers carries help my grip. Buy stocks. They help a lot of people's grip. That's not surprising. Farmers walks are a legitimate grip exercise, right? They're a legitimate grip exercise. And there's still no questions on Facebook though. Oh well. We'll keep it running. That adds up. It boosts the algorithm. Eventually, I'm going to start getting paid quite a bit for those, so that'll be good. This multitasking will really pay off in the long term. What does your legume consumption look like? At the moment, none, but I like legumes. I mean, you see my food, beautiful. I post my meals in my grocery baskets and everything. I show my food every day online. So follow me on Facebook or Instagram and you'll see all my food. So yesterday, it was pretty much chicken, brown rice, broccoli, spinach, bell peppers, Greek yogurt, a little bit of honey. It's pretty much everything I ate. Sweet potatoes, right? Yes, we're live, Peppermint. Matt says, got a question, coach. I've switched to 10 to 15 reps for the past couple of weeks. Same hard training and same extras. I'm finding less tired overall when I do 5 to 8 reps. Does this make sense? Yeah, because I mean, big lifts are certainly fatiguing like that. I'm doing all my stuff 8 plus. Some of my lifts ended up hitting 8, like deadlifts. I was just kind of like, I didn't want to go more than 8. They just felt hard. I was hoping to do a 10 rep set. No, I can't stand cottage cheese by stocks. I just don't like the taste. It's gross. I love Greek yogurt though. But if you like cottage cheese, it works great. Richard says, I like lentils every day. 1 month, my HDL went higher than my triglycerides. Oh, nice. No, I think cottage cheese tastes gross, but I think it's a solid protein calcium source, right? If you happen to like it, it's great. Greek yogurt, though, technically has got live cultures and stuff though too. I can make a case for it being better, plus it tastes good. All right. Plus it tastes good. Anybody asking questions on Facebook yet? Not yet. So we'll come back to the tubes. Got client messages popping up. Hard to see the questions here. But yeah, perfectly fine. It's gross, but I had strawberries. Yeah, dude, I just don't like cottage cheese. But again, there's nothing wrong with it nutritionally. Matt says fat-free Greek yogurt with a scoop of whey mix has been a daily staple. I do that sometimes. I'm throwing a little bit of my local honey in it now. I'm kind of experimenting with that a little more. I used to do the local honey when I was losing weight originally. It's kind of like I was saying, honey, if it's just straight honey, like how do I put it? The way the crazy carnivores do it with no fiber is insane because you are getting a bunch of fructose. But if you have it mixed with fiber, like a bunch of fiber first, or like into my brown rice and sweet potatoes, it's fine. And there are some benefits. There's some studies on honey showing some benefits. So Richard says, I like 5% Greek yogurt plain. Yeah, if you need the calories and want the fat in it, that's a good one. Just keep in mind it is saturated fat, but it doesn't impact LDL, but it might hit insulin resistance over time. Just be careful of getting body fat from it because it is still saturated. It stores easy in a surplus. But otherwise, it's fairly neutral in terms of lipids, and especially being in Greek yogurt. Scott Gotti says, do you think the bench press will help with punching power for boxing? Yes. Cart, when I get advanced. Cart, we don't care about your gas. Peppermint says, big up, thank you. Matt, what's your thoughts on flies or pec deck to stretch the chest? Good exercise. Stretching it, I don't know. Dumbbells stretch it. I mean, just like a dumbbell press will. I don't think they're better or worse for that. Do you need to isolate the chest or not? That's the question. If you need to isolate the chest, if it's lagging, they make sense. Thank you for those posts, Peppermint. Peppermint, you got the number 2. You could get the number 1 from Buy Stocks. I'd have to drop a super chat. Yeah, Faye is great. Faye is a good brand. Beautiful says, I make homemade milk kefir like a hippie. I don't see anything wrong with that. Right? If you got a good recipe and it works and you know how to make kefir, more power to you. Yeah, you got to get that purple crown, Peppermint. You got to keep posting until you get that purple crown. I don't think I have a timer on. All right. Do we have any comments on Facebook yet? There's no questions on Facebook. They're just viewing. We got lurkers there. All right. Well, at least we're getting lots of comments on the tubes, so that works. I had one of these the other day that I ran a long one and ended up getting like 1,500 views afterwards on Facebook. So one of my videos there got like 2,000 views this week. And it's one of those that only got 200 on YouTube. It's weird. Yeah, the Facebook people said, well, I don't have a lot of like a lot of my Facebook is Gen Pop. So my Facebook page is like half women, half men. My YouTube is like 98% dudes. So my Facebook is like 50% female in my analytics. And there's a lot of people there who are only following for a little nutrition advice and other stuff. Matt says your legs are so big. I don't think you need to emphasize them. That's why I'm just doing one set of squats. Like today, I did one hard set of squats for 315 for high reps. I did one set of deadlifts of 405 and then some reverse hypers. And that was my, other than a calf, I do 3 sets of calves every time. So I'm hammering upper body way harder on this cut. I'm particularly going hard on arms and chest. Because like I did, even though I'm going to train it all 3 times, I did 6 sets for pecs. But I also went really hard on arms. I did easy bar curls, incline curls, and then I cranked out a set of high rep bands afterwards. Jason, you're doing the male model workout, tons of upper body sets and 1 set of squats. Pretty much. It's exactly what I'm doing. And it's going to work as a former powerlifter who already has massive legs and massive back. Like, let's come in and just do tons of pecs and tons of biceps and triceps while we cut and just try to maintain that. But I'm doing a lot of calves. I am doing a lot of calf volume now. So, but think about it for a minute, Matt. Look at my overall structure. What happens if I drop 15 pounds more body fat and I end up gaining any muscle in my arms? You know, what happens if we get down to 10% or lower body fat and my arms get any bigger? You know, you look like Rich. I'll be in that sort of territory. We'll definitely have that golden era look. And that's what I want. Not the golden, but like even that silver or bronze era. That's really that whole range of stuff is what I'm looking for. I want that classic bodybuilder look because it's appealing. People like it and it's still healthy. You know, and you don't need to run a ton of gear for it either. People forget that. I mean, I see guys out there just trying to get that certain look who are using ridiculous amounts of drugs and they're not even that big just because they're trying to obtain, you know, that specific look they want for modern bodybuilding. You know, and it's just like, they could be using less than 500 milligrams to be at the size they're at, but they're using just ridiculous amounts of drugs just because they want that certain super chiseled look. Oh, I finally got someone. Says, what brand of rice do you eat? So this is on Facebook. Jacob, so I just do the HEB brand brown rice, but for my basmati, when I do white rice, I do basmati, and I forget. You'd have to go look at the pictures of my groceries, and I forget what brand it is, but it's an imported one. I do have about 10 pounds of basmati still around, and I like it, but I'm trying to do brown rice at the moment. But normally I just do the HEB's local brand of the brown rice. So it's just here from Texas, right? So hopefully that helps. There we go. We got a Facebook question. Reg Park and Chuck Sykes were big in preview. Sorry, they really were. Like Reg Park is like goals. So if people were to ask me what would be my goal physique, be somewhere between Reg Park and Frank Zane. But that's the thing. We still want to be strong, right? Like no matter how lean we get or old we get, we want to be able to bench 315 and deadlift 500. Like these are mandatory lifts, guys. You're welcome, Jacob. Jacob, feel free to ask more questions. Hopefully I get the Facebook picks up a little bit because I'm streaming both right now. I'm in YouTube and Facebook both at the same time. So when I do my bike, I've learned I can stream both platforms, which is great for double dipping. Like talk about pure win, right? Absolute win. Yeah, Richard, I agree. Reg Park and Chuck Sykes, but Reg Park has always been kind of one of those goals. You know, he was that original one of the Hercules movie when I was a kid. You know, so he was in all those black and white action movies. Steve Reeves was too, but Reg Park. So it's like when I was a kid, you know, it was that, and then seeing Arnold were kind of goals. But you know, Arnold said that his Reg Park was his inspiration in his era. You know, it's just interesting. All right. We only been 16 minutes in this? Well, we should just keep going. I'm already hungry. Coach is hungry already. Instapot's going now. Got brown rice, sweet potatoes, chicken, broccoli. So those are pretty much trimming some of the avocados out to get the fat down. So those are kind of my staple vegetables every day at the moment is sweet potato, broccoli, spinach, bell peppers. Why did Arnold become the most influential bodybuilder? Because he became an actor. Politics inside bodybuilding and becoming an actor. Keep in mind there was a lot of stuff going on inside that. Matt says, yeah, we're from the same generation. And Matt Arnold and Rambo Stallone was always the guy for me. Love Dolphin, Rocky 14. Yeah. You're same generation, those 80s growing up. Yeah. Keep in mind, Arnold also did politics. But yeah, he did politics inside bodybuilding, and he made it to Hollywood. Do you guys remember Arnold's first movie? He played a cowboy. People are not aware of that. His first actual real Hollywood movie, he played a cowboy. I believe he was called like Handsome Stranger. It's ridiculous. It's a terrible role. Absolutely terrible role. Okay, Facebook question. Jacob, what are your thoughts on minute rice or instant rice? Man, I'm not going to be as much of a fan. It just doesn't, it's not that it's necessarily worse. It's going to depend on what they put in it. But even normal white rice, just use an Instant Pot or a rice cooker, and it works so well. And then you don't need to worry about the instant rice. I think it's just, it depends, I guess, on what they put in it, but I don't ever do that. I actually do like real rice. So I always use the Instant Pot, or I used to use a rice maker. But Instant Pot is a game changer for healthy cooking. White rice, brown rice, potatoes, whatever you want to do. It's so easy. Like I got my Instant Pot going right now. So when you see all those meals that I cook, you see the pictures of, that's right out of my Instant Pot, right? It's extremely easy. All right, back over to the tubes. Coach, who would you cast to play you in a movie of yourself? Why would anyone do a movie of me? I'm just a guy on YouTube who lifts weights. People have already played me. Right, there's a whole legend about me that's not based on anything I've ever actually done or said, and a whole mythical version of me and people who imitated me and played roles as their stereotype of me all over YouTube. I mean, even Eric Konevsky has. So I guess it's already been done. Why, I don't know. I'm just a guy who lifts weights on YouTube. People have created a whole legend around me, not based on any sort of reality. It's just really crazy. Leo says, I can lift more weights than you. Well, I'm 48 years old. If you can't lift more than me, then you're a weak-ass pussy. Now everybody's going to get upset who only deadlifts 500 pounds. All the dudes who only bench 300, deadlift 500 would be like, hey, coach, that was kind of mean. Sorry, guys. I apologize to y'all. So, Leo, so I'm going to check your channel. Let's see. I'm going to look at your amazing lifts on your channel. Oh, you don't have any. Leo, you don't have any lifts on your channel. Leo, where's this 500 bench? Where's this 700 deadlift? You don't have any lifts on your channel. Because you see me benching 365 on mine. You've seen me pull 635. Where's your bigger lifts than me? I just checked. Yeah. So let's get rid of this guy. What celeb would you say resembles you the most likeness? I don't know. I'm not good at that. Can I say what someone told my sister once? One of her friends, she got mad at her, so don't talk to my brother. It was kind of hilarious. Like one of her friends was like, "Your brother looks like Jason Statham." She's like, "Shut up, leave my brother alone." Bad. But squirt some of the bottle. No. So outside of that, I don't really know. That was like over 10 years ago too. I was younger. I don't know that any celebrity looks like me. I look like me. Jason Statham, I can see that. Yeah, granted, that was like when I first got back to the U.S. from the U.K. So that was a younger me. Somebody will come in here, a hater, a minute, they'll be like, Nosferatu, Nosferatu looks just like you, coach. No other questions on Facebook. Facebook's a little slow. That's okay. Come back to the tubes. Get this pedaling rate up. I don't enjoy the bike cardio as much, but we got two different streams to jump between to make it tolerable. Right? That mic a little more stable. Coach, nice wall. Thank you. Got my Silver Play Award back there behind me. My guitars. It's my Gibson Les Paul right there. Her name is Vanessa, by the way. Yes, I named my Gibson Les Paul. Any one of you who ever owned a Gibson Les Paul, you know you named it. All right. What Matt says, what do you think about getting up in the 20 rep range on lifts? Still great for, it's tough on most lifts. I mean, some isolation movements, reverse hyper, sure, band work. I don't know about a compound movement though. Coach, when will you do the weight vest walks again? I don't know that I will. Will that be? They put a lot of strain on my low back. It starts really adding up. It makes it really hard to squat and deadlift if I do too much of it. So that's definitely a problem. Plus, it was giving me a farmer's tan, like a weird tan with straps. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah, it's a lot of low back fatigue, right? And people don't think about that either. I'm like, dude, I'm walking around with a 50-pound vest for 45 minutes. It accumulates a lot in terms of just fatigue. Right. Still no questions, other questions on Facebook. So again, I'm just going to tab back and forth between the different streams. Okay. Peppermint says, hold on. I got to wait a second to read your question. A pop-up is in the way. I can believe that, Coach. I don't see anyone walking around with that on them. Yeah. A 50-pound vest, it definitely accumulates a lot of fatigue doing it. Man, I guess the streams may not do as well today on the views. We were getting more views earlier on YouTube, but it slowed down here. So maybe it'll pick up as we keep rolling. There it goes. They're trickling up. We need more likes and comments. That'll help. But Matt, as far as that, yeah, 20 reps is a lot. I'm not saying that you can't build good muscle, just some exercises. It's just going to get really boring, and it's not giving you any benefit over even 12 to 15 at that point, you know, just realistically speaking. So, Hey, G says, who's she? I don't know who that is. I don't know if she benched 405 or not. Who's this woman you're talking about? You got to, guys, you can't just drop names. You know the rules. Is this a person? That still doesn't tell me anything. Okay, so you gave me a name of, you're anonymous from Mayhem. That's still, what is Mayhem Fitness? Is it a video game? Is it a TV show? Is it a YouTube channel? Is it, you guys have to explain this to me. You can't just drop random names and words and assume I know what it is. Okay, because I don't actually watch YouTube Fitness, right? So I'm not going to know who they are unless they've been around at least 10 years. Like, if you say Cali Muscle or Athlean X, I'm going to know. But you can't just drop some new channel that's been out 5 or 6 years and expect me to know who they are. Because I don't actually watch YouTube. So just an FYI. No idea. Next. I'm the only good YouTube channel on YouTube Fitness. So why would I watch any others? I got my content. All right. Just not interested. Coach, you're the only YouTube Fitness channel I watch. I appreciate that, Peppermint. You're a loyal follower. You're in all my live streams. Appreciate the loyalty, man. Hey, DSEV, let me re-explain this again. I don't watch YouTube Fitness. I don't know who that is. Michael Russ says, do you think you could or would ever attend a commercial gym again, or would people? I mean, I have attended commercial gyms, and people do recognize me. What is that relevant? Or would people? Well, what do you mean? I don't understand the or. Obviously, people would recognize me. Like, that's not even a question. Why couldn't I attend one? So I don't have a need to attend one. Right? I mean, using your logic, I can't go to the grocery store because people recognize me and want pictures. No, it's fine. Right? But I have a really good home gym. I don't have to travel or waste gas or pay gym memberships to go to a gym. My gym's already paid for. Plus, it's harder to film in the public gyms these days. People don't like it, and I film my workouts and stuff, so it's kind of, it just doesn't seem practical. Dang, Coach, you're active today. Can't keep up. Good to see. Well, active every day. Really less than normal because training days we don't do as much of the cardio. The non-training days, which can be 4 days, we're going to do way more. On training days, I'm happy if I can get 2 hours in, but I'm going to just do the full body 3 days a week. And if we get 2 hours of cardio in fasted, great. That's kind of just the goal. We go really hard on the other 4 days now. All right. Anything going on Facebook? Nope. No more questions. Let's check if it's on there. Thank you, Pepper. That Right Fire guy, I got rid of him. I knew he was a troll that whole time. It's ridiculous. They can't help themselves. Eventually they have to. They can't just contain it. They're all mentally ill. Right? Sooner or later it comes out. But they've been really low. The trolling has been really, really low lately. And I don't just mean here. Like, the only place I'm getting it is in my streams on YouTube, which is kind of good. It's like non-existent almost everywhere else. It's probably the lowest amount I've dealt with in a couple years has been the last few weeks. So something has my haters demoralized. Yeah, no, something has them demoralized. Maybe they're upset on cutting. Maybe they're just giving up on life. You know, I mean, that's pretty much a death blow for them. If I get really lean, it's pretty much they're screwed at that point. They have nothing to really work with. What are they going to do? Rehash? Well, we think he's a racist. We think he did whatever. Okay. He made a video 12 years ago that we remixed and we don't like. I mean, it's all they have left. You know? So let's focus on being positive, moving forward, making goals. But yeah, I mean, that's been kind of nice. There are just so few of them now in the streams, you know? And just in general, they're like leaving me alone on other platforms. Facebook, it's been like zero. I don't get DMs. So it's good, man. We're in a good place with that. So why I don't even want to talk about even hater channels, so I just ban the talk. Nobody cares. Let's not fuel any of it. Just let it die out. Let it die a slow death. And then we can move forward with positive things. And I can focus on actually helping people keep getting jacked, get leaner, get healthier. And that's the direction I want to move more and more with this too. We're really talking about longevity and fitness. It really needs to be my jam, right? It doesn't even need to be about powerlifting so much anymore. Let's talk about staying strong and fit as we get older. Because I think people need that. You know, and if you look at a lot of the long-term followers, that's where they are. Right? A lot of my long-term followers are getting older. People are like, I started watching you when I was 20. And I'm like, how old are you now? They're like 32. It's like, exactly. You know, people need that. It's like, how can we stay? Because another reason I'm pushing it, we don't need to bulk, guys. We can stay lean because we can. The evidence suggests it. So why compromise our health getting up to 20% body fat or higher? We don't have to do any of that. We can just get lean, stay lean, make lean gains, recomp, right? We can eat clean. Let's let this whole flexible dieting, and if it fits your macros generation, let's just kill it off and get everybody eating clean. Because that's the other thing too. You know, everyone, that was a big thing. But then you look at that and go, if people weren't eating junk food, they wouldn't have to count their macros either, would they? Because it would be easy to not be fat if everyone just ate healthy whole foods. We could almost just disregard the idea of bulking and cutting to have a good physique and leave bulking and cutting to people who are competing and stuff. Weight classes, you know, just get lean, stay lean, just recomp or make lean gains and recomposition indefinitely. You don't really have to track to do that. You just have to eat really clean and train. And it'll just kind of happen by default. I think the idea of dirty bulking has been really harmful overall towards health of everyone. I think it is harmed a lot of people in the long term because we don't need that. We already have a society with an obesity crisis and an epidemic. Do we really need to be telling people, let's just dirty bulk and gain a bunch of fat and eat junk food? Because they're eating junk to do it. These guys who are dirty bulking, what are they eating? Chocolate milk and stuff. Come on. Right? It's setting up bad habits for later. And the dude's like, but I can't gain weight. But I'm like, do you need to gain weight? And I get so many guys who are like, well, I can't gain enough weight, but you're gaining weight slow. You gained 3 pounds this year. Are you on steroids? I mean, how much muscle do you think you're really going to gain? Yeah, they're eating McDonald's and ice cream. No, this is not a good trend. Right? And I'm not saying a cheat day is a problem. I think really active, fit, lean people can get away with a cheat meal probably every week and stay lean. But we're talking a meal, a cheat meal. You know, I don't think it's going to harm your health to have a cheat meal once a week. If you're lean enough, though. You know, and that's fine. But I've even had a client who did that and even making weight classes for powerlifting. He had date night with his girlfriend every Friday. You know, they went out to eat every Friday night. Okay. Those Buffalo Wild Wings, probably not healthy, as you said. Does that sound healthy to you? Does Buffalo Wild Wings sound like health food to you in general? Come on. little common sense, bro. All right. Anything going on Facebook? Man, that is definitely slow today. That's always hit or miss. Just because it's got chicken in it doesn't make it chicken. It's kind of like when I tell people, look, you can't get fat on chicken and rice. They're like, if you add stuff, but I'm like, no, you're not eating chicken and rice yet. That's not chicken and rice. It's butter. It's sweet and sour sauce. It's not chicken and rice. Yeah, so 500 calorie surplus is going to just make you fat. All you're going to do is gain fat from that. Anything over about 100 calorie surplus is just fat gain. It's not even adding more muscle. If you look at the data on it, it's not even muscle. So, yeah, Buffalo Wild Wings is mostly just fast food. It's also fattier cuts of chicken that you put all sorts of stuff. Well, I don't know what's in the Chinese fried rice. You got to tell me what you put in it. Is it just vegetables and eggs? Right? I've never used an air fryer. But unlikely. Just because you're making gains doesn't mean you couldn't make the exact same gains on way less. You're also gaining fat unnecessarily, is my point. So here's my thing. Are you planning on keeping the fat that you gain? Because a lot of guys say, well, not everyone wants to be really lean. Hey, that's fine. So you're planning on keeping all the fat that you gain. You're not going to trim it down later. Then it's okay. But if you're on a 500 surplus with plans to cut later, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Because if your body is only capable of gaining whatever, a pound of muscle in a month, depending on how advanced you are, probably way less. Why would you gain 3 pounds in a month? It's all fat, everything past that. And you're not gaining faster from the fat gain. That's been confirmed with the data. There is no additional muscle growth from that. So you're just gaining fat unnecessarily. So, it's kind of like the guy who tells me right before I squat, well, let's look at it this way. How about opening a door? This is something I like to use. Well, maybe I might disagree with your coach. So it's kind of like, this is an example. People love to do this in the fitness world, right? When they do unnecessary stuff. They'll go over and they'll say, but I opened the door. So I'm like, so what's your strategy to open the door? They're like, before I open the door, I hop on my right foot in a circle 3 times and say, ziggy, zaggy, oi, oi, oi. And then I hop over to my left foot and hop around in a circle and say, ziggy, zaggy, oi, oi, oi. Then I reach to the door, I turn it to the right, turn it to the left, and turn it to the right again, and then open it. And I'm like, so you really think that's efficient? They're like, the proof is I opened the door. They opened the door, right? So it worked. They could have just walked over to the door and grabbed it and turned it to the right and opened it. They didn't have to hop on the right foot 3 times and the left foot 3 times and say ziggy, zaggy, oi, oi, oi twice and do the left turn and the right turn again. They could just open the door. No, you're not opening the door faster. And that's the point. The extra fat gain doesn't cause extra muscle. It only causes more fat gain. Good coaches all know this. We've watched it over and over, and it's been studied in the lab and been confirmed by research. You're only gaining body fat from that. It is not causing a single drop of extra muscle. Peppermint, do you know the reference? The ziggy, zaggy. You should be from the Man Show on the Comedy Channel. Here's the thing. That show would be canceled so fast today. Can you imagine that show existing in 2025? You think being very hairy will not allow me to see visible gain? No, it won't necessarily. You won't see the definition as easily. Thing happening on Facebook? No Facebook questions for a while. Well, I can tell you on a 500 surplus, you're building a lot of fat. You're probably building muscle too. You're gaining weight and your lifts are going up, but you're definitely going to gain fat. So Peppermint, do you think that's him? Let's check. Since I'm on the desk, I can go look at channels. Let's see if he created this account today. He did. It's a new account created today. We caught him. Yeah, it's definitely him. This is his second one today, because I banned his hairy dwarf earlier. All right. So let's get rid of him. Yeah, I caught him. I figured it was him, but I'm like, let's go ahead and address it. It gives us a topic, and then we'll get rid of him. He has now made, 217 accounts that have all been banned every single day. So everyone who's chiming in, that guy makes a new account every day since December to want to discuss why it's important to bulk really fast and gain fat. And he wants to talk about it every day. And I have banned him every single day since December, 7 days a week. Yeah, it's at this point, it's not a YouTube live for Blaha if he doesn't come in. And he either pretends to be a lifter or he'll pretend to be a coach. It's the same guy. So imagine that level of psychosis. He admitted he was mentally ill, but one of them. And he does see a doctor about it. So, man. So he is hung up. He's got a whole obsession about the importance of gaining fat to gain strength and muscle. So he makes a new account to come talk about it every day. And always, well, this is what I did, or my coach is telling me to do it, or I'm a coach and I have my clients do it. So he's made a ridiculous number of accounts. So, yeah, and like you said, Peppermint, it wouldn't be a Blaha live stream without him at this point. So he's pretty much a staple. He pretty much waits all morning to get into one of mine. And he does it every day, never misses. So I don't think he has a job. Or if he does, he's on his computer. So what do you do, man? Yeah, we all clock him every day. They're regulars. We all spot him. Really, really bizarre. You got any Facebook? No, there's no more Facebook questions. That one's really slow today. It's getting likes, though. So it's just people are lurking there. But eventually those will pick back up. And when they do, that'll be beautiful. A double stream. We're running this one out really good, though. I'm really hungry already, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait to eat. And I was surprised, though. I did that weigh-in after that walk, and I was at 212. So even in spite of the huge amount of salt and water and the scale shooting way up, I'm only up a pound, and my waist was smaller again. Yeah, I didn't shave. I got to shave my head. I got to shave my face. We're all fuzzy-wuzzy. Fuzzy-wuzzy. Well, Facebook to let me start group posting again. That's what we need also. All right. Let's just go in here. Coach, you look like Tony Soprano. He's fat. I'm going to take that as an insult. You're saying I look like a fat dude? Come on now. That's not right. Now you're going to be a player hater. Nancy says, I'm embarrassed to say it, but I'm here from OnlyFans. There was a Nancy on my OnlyFans. You're not paying anymore, Nancy, while you rejoin? It's all good. It's all good. How quick does your hair grow? It's pretty fast. My hair grows pretty quick. Just in general. But yeah, I got to shave everything. This is all growing back the face. I got to get everything all clean shaven again. Yeah, the face grows pretty quick. Yeah, of course I sweated a lot. We were doing cardio. You'll see my vlog. I'm pretty sweaty in my training vlog. I'll get that recorded and up here later. It was full body workout. Squats, bench, deadlift, dips, pull-ups, lots of arms, calf raises. I did a lot of curls today. I've got to keep pushing biceps really hard, even on the cut. I can de-emphasize legs a little. My legs are pretty big, which is hilarious. Blaha doing one set of squats and then like 7 to 8 sets of curls for a full body. Oh, nobody would have believed that back in the day. Your dude comes in, does 10 sets of squats before he finishes. Yep. I used to really do that too. You guys remember those days, right? I used to come in and do like 10 sets of squats. Oh man. Do 10 sets of squats and then forget to curl. D says, Coach, is it okay if I take creatine and work out once every 3 weeks? Yeah, no, it's not okay. It's not okay for you to not train at least 3 days a week. Nancy says, very hot. Appreciate it, Nancy. But creatine has cognitive benefits, so it's not about gains so much. It doesn't do anything for my gains. I'm taking it because my grandfather had Alzheimer's. I want the cognition benefits and the memory benefits and everything, you know. That's the thing, guys. 48. I'm turning 49 this year. It's really everything I'm doing is going to be about longevity and being really fit for life. It's going to be the big part of what I do with my outreach from here. All right. Like dudes, we can be jacked, we can be fit, we can be healthy at 50. You know. All right. You guys can be walking down the street and have the girls go, damn, Grandpa, what's up? Right? I even call you daddy anymore at that age. It's like, what's up, Grandpa? Coach, do you program for your clients with the long game? Yeah, a lot of them, especially like Paul Riley. You see Paul comes in here, right? If we do that with Paul, he's in his 40s. He doesn't compete in anything. We literally had that conversation in Messenger yesterday, he and I. And he's like, I can dig it. I agree. I'm like, yeah, the glasses come off. I just can't see the screen without them. I can't read anything. So yeah, especially my guys, any of my guys over 40 who don't compete in anything, everything's longevity. Like we just care about keeping them fit, keeping them strong. We look after their tendons or joints, you know. So like even for like Paul, he trains 3 days a week. That's all he does. A lot of cardio. But I have him doing a 3-day push-pull legs, and he really likes it. He's happy with it. He's like, nothing, it keeps me from hurting. He's like, then I can go do my cardio and do tennis and do my rock climbing. I think the whole concept of the looks maxing is silly. I think you're an incel loser if you even look into that stuff. Just stop. Just stop. D-Sage, come on. Like someone linked me some stuff from it, and I'm literally like, the guy putting this information out doesn't get girls. I already knew that. Feed me the mortals. Much difference doing good mornings, narrow versus wide. It's going to be a different emphasis. The wider is going to be more hip extension in general. So you're going to get a little more adductor. You're going to get probably a little more hip extension type muscles through the glutes and everything. The narrower is going to be a little more hamstring. Now, is it a massive difference? No, but it is going to be a significant difference in terms of that training stimulus. I like to do them wider when I'm training for real powerlifting carryover. I like a little bit wider. So if you'd like, when you see me do a 500 plus pound good morning, I did a 500 back in January. Look at my stance. It's kind of wide. And I did 500 pounds on it. I like that wider stance for power carryover. Now, sometimes I'll do a closer for something like high rep work for like an SSB, because then I do want the hamstring more. So you've got to look at what you're doing with it. But if you're wanting to move really big weight on it and you're looking for like squat carryover directly, that wide stance is going to be a little better, right? Especially if you're going to do power good mornings and you're looking for squat transference. Same be said for squats, right? More quad. Not necessarily, no. It's going to be dependent upon your knee angles. So the stance width only impacts it if it changes your range of motion at the knee joint. So it determines how much quad gets work is going to depend how deep the knee goes. how deep your hip goes is what's going to determine the glute. So yes, the stance width will affect that for you as a person, but that's going to vary person to person. For some people, there will be no difference in quad activation. If they're able to get the full knee range of motion with a wider stance, they won't see a difference. Make sense? As long as the perceived exertion or proximity to failure is the same. So there's a little bit of nuance to that one. So think in terms of knee angle versus hip angle and your range of motion on it. Anything happening in Facebook? No, that's really slow. That is just dead today. It'll get views after though. It does crazy sometimes. I had a Facebook Live get 50 views, and then I come back the next day and it's at 1,500. Like what? I technically on average get more views on my videos there than YouTube. But the lives are really slow. They weren't at one time when I had the algorithm peak there. When it picks back up, they're going to be beautiful, especially this double stream. Seems for another question, why is it when you lose weight, the chin-ups and pull-ups seem to get easier? Because you're moving less weight. I haven't heard anything from Vegan Gains or anything about a boxing. I doubt he's serious. And who cares? Money up front. If he pays up front and he's willing to travel, I'll be happy to go lose in one round and take my money and go home. And I like when Facebook was promoting you heavily in August. Will that be the case? Yeah, I think it might. Once I get that certain thing, they tend to kick it up. And once I get it flowing again, I know how to keep it. I know how to keep it, Facebook algo flowing once it's up again. And I know what to avoid. I know what's killed my outreach, certain types of posts, and I know how to avoid them. And it's not even rules violation. It's that they don't like certain stuff for the algorithm. I seem to PR on them when I'm cutting. Well, yeah, because you're losing weight. You're moving less weight. It's a body weight exercise. It's not uncommon. Not everyone PRs on it, but some people do, yeah. So think about it. If you lose 10 pounds, you're moving 10 less pounds on a pull-up or a chin-up. The weight's less. So you've got to add another 10 pounds of plates to equal the same weight. Makes sense? Right? Are you digging it? That's what I mean. My plates increase. Well, then that's a good thing. So you're literally gaining real strength then too. So take it as a good thing. Roger that. He's struggling with his knees at the moment, and his toes are so. Oh, you're talking about Richard? Yeah, Richard's not going to fight anybody. I mean, I'd take the money and run pretty much. I mean, I'll take the money and step in the ring, but I wouldn't care about winning or losing. I would literally just want the money. I have no ego about fighting. It's not something I care about. It's not something that is part of my life. So it would, to me, it would be the equivalent of going, I'm going to challenge you to a ping pong match, but it could be a risky ping pong match because the balls are on fire. And I'd be like, well, I don't know how to play ping pong, but I'll just lose in round one so I don't have to deal with the flaming ping pong balls anymore, take my 50 grand and go home. So it's like, if you're going to pay someone, if it's got to be win or lose. And it's like, so then we hop around in a ring for a minute and then I take my money and go home. Like, I don't care about winning. I don't care about fighting anybody. I'm like, so if I just take a dive 10 seconds in, I still get my money, right? Well, cool. Let's do a 10-second fight and I get my money and go home. I don't care. People go, you lost the fight. You lost the fight. No, I got 50 grand. Who cares about fighting? I'm not a degenerate. Only degenerate people, scumbags, care about winning fights. Like, right? So who cares? Like, I just care about the money. So yeah, sure. If he wants to do a fight for 50 grand, I could care less if I win or lose. I just want the money. Right. Fighting with fists is a big thing. Well, smashing on the lads here always talk about it. Well, let's come over to peppermint, the lads in the UK. How would you describe current chav and lad culture in the UK? Would you describe it as cultured and sophisticated? Exactly. Degenerate. You see a lot of that, and that's the point. So that's because they think they're big because they watch UFC. Most of them are soft. Just look at Peaky Blinders. No, I'm not interested in coaching vegan gains. Why do you keep asking about vegan gains? Why do you care? I'm gonna just get rid of you. Like we don't need him brought up all the time. Let's get out of here. Nobody cares. Let's talk about real fitness stuff. So you can go make a new account and talk about real fitness. But it's hard to get rid of. How is it? So around just fighting other dudes, worry about fighting all the time. That's degenerate. I get it if you're in the military or you're in a combat sport. It's sport. But outside of that, nobody cares. Beat this person up. Like, I don't care. I mean, I get it if you're a martial artist and you train. I don't train to fight. I don't care. And half these people don't either. But also people who really train to fight don't go challenging random people off the street or someone they don't like to a cage match either. They're not real fighters. They don't care. They're not interested in that. Right. So no, it's only normalized in degenerate segments of society. Right. Some random travelers tried to challenge me to fight. I was, what? Yeah, they don't do that here. That's not a thing where I live. Can you imagine doing that where I live? You wouldn't make it long. Strange. Yeah, true. It's alcoholic culture. So everyone in the UK, there's so much alcohol. Like it's shocking. It's way more. Like it's funny. Like people here joke about how people drink a lot. No, I've been to the UK, guys, for 3 years. It's not even close. It's not even close. Keep in mind how strict our laws are on some of that. In Texas, you can get up to life in prison for your third DWI. Like you get real time. It's not like a slap on the wrist. Yeah, you wouldn't want to do that here. Just pick random fights with strangers on the street. You might get away with it a few times, but just statistically, you figure 10 to 20% of people are carrying. So it's pretty much a spin of the chamber each time. Just pick fights around. Yeah, wouldn't fly. Yeah, no. Do you go to prison for it here? You get in a fight in a pub and the police show up, you can catch a felony. Like, do you get prison time for that there though? You can't here. Like worst case, you could get a year or two in prison. In a worst case. Yeah. Again, we're a very polite society here where I live. Yeah, no, you're going to get arrested here. If the police show up and you hit somebody and there's evidence, somebody's going away in the cuffs. Right? Someone prayed, like if you started it and they didn't hit you back and they press charges, you could definitely get a felony. So felony here, where I live, you get a felony, you get prison time, you lose your rights. You lose your right to vote. You lose your right to have certain types of jobs. You lose your right to carry a firearm. Now you're defenseless. You don't want a felony where I live. Right? Yeah, they take your right to vote away, by the way, here. I live in Texas. And I'm from the great Republic of Texas. Can't you tell from my accent? I think we're in bonus now. We reached that hour in this one. See if there's anything happening on Facebook, or is that still super dead? Oh well. With the chest hair, no, I've trimmed it down some. When I get leaner, I'm going to take it all the way off. For now, I'm going to leave it a bit. All right. All right, I think this is probably going to be about it for today. I don't shave, I use Nair. So I think we're pretty much at the end. I'm going to wind this down. We'll do a lot more tomorrow. It's a non-training day, but I lifted today. I don't want to do more than a couple hours generally fasted. Since we only train 3 days a week, we do want to get some training response from it. So I love you guys and gals. Hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you next time.